People in that luxury restaurant had no idea who the young, black man in the spotless white suit really was. And the woman who threw wine at him? She was about to wake up to a $150 million nightmare the very next morning. No one truly pays attention to strangers. During a busy lunchtime, rush not in a high-end five-star restaurant in downtown Chicago. Everyone is too lost in their expensive meals, business meetings, and quiet gossip. But that Friday afternoon, everyone noticed him. A young black man walked in wearing a perfectly tailored all-white suit, spotless, elegant, and glowing under the huge skylight above him. His name was Jordan Miles, and he had this calm, understated confidence, like someone who belonged there, even if others didn't believe it. But some people looked at him with confusion, some with suspicion, and one woman with pure arrogance. That woman was Vanessa Hale, the daughter of a famous millionaire, real estate mogul. She sat with her friends at a corner VIP table, laughing loudly, swinging her wine glass, thinking the whole world revolved around her. And when Jordan stepped nearby, walking past her table, that's when it happened. Vanessa accidentally flicked her wrist too far, and a deep red splash of wine shot out of her glass, painting Jordan's flawless white suit in violent crimson. It spilled down his chest, soaking into his blazer, dripping onto the marble floor. The whole restaurant gasped. Vanessa burst into laughter. "Oh my God! Relax!" she said loudly, waving him off. "It's just a suit. Don't stand so close next time." Her friends giggled. A few diners stared in shock. Someone tried to hand Jordan a napkin but stopped halfway, scared of getting involved. Jordan froze, not angry, not yelling, just quiet. He looked down at his ruined suit, then slowly lifted his eyes toward Vanessa. Behind that calm expression, something else flickered. Something she didn't even notice. Because Vanessa didn't know who she just humiliated. She didn't know what that white suit represented. She didn't know the meeting Jordan had scheduled upstairs. She didn't know the value of the deal he was about to close. She didn't know the world he actually belonged to. She didn't even know that her own life, her entire future, was connected to him in a way she would discover too late. Jordan didn't defend himself. He didn't insult her back. He simply said, in a composed, steady voice, "Don't worry, accidents happen." But the way he said it, it wasn't anger. It was almost like he already knew what tomorrow would bring. He walked away calmly, despite the whispers, despite the mess on his suit, despite the embarrassment she tried to cause. Vanessa turned to her friends smugly. "Some people really think they can dress rich and blend in," she said. "This is what happens." Her friends laughed again, unaware that the man she just mocked wasn't trying to blend in. He owned more than the room, more than the restaurant, more than anything Vanessa's family ever touched. And the next day, she would lose $150 million because of the man she just humiliated. But in that moment, nobody knew. Not the diners, not her friends, not Vanessa. Only Jordan knew the storm coming. She threw wine at the nobody in a white suit. The next morning, she lost 150 milliliters. Casey didn't sleep that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw the scene again, the wine flying from her glass, splashing across the man's perfect white suit, and the look he gave her. Not angry, not shocked, just disappointed. She had laughed at him in front of everyone, calling him nobody, calling him a seat filler wearing a tux he couldn't afford. And yet, he walked away calmly, almost like he knew something she didn't. By morning, her life flipped. Her phone exploded with calls. Her emails filled with urgent red alerts. Her assistant sounded like she was hyperventilating. "Casey, something's wrong. Your investment portfolio. Everything is red. It says you've lost over $150 million. Casey froze. "That's not possible," she whispered. But the numbers didn't lie. Her biggest holdings had collapsed overnight. Companies she trusted, gone red. Partners she depended on, pulling out. She rushed to the board office, still shaking, still refusing to breathe until she understood what happened. As she stormed inside, everyone's eyes were on her. Whispers, murmurs, confusion. And standing at the center table was the man she humiliated. The man in the white suit, now wearing a tailored charcoal gray one, spotless and impossibly sharp. Casey's heart dropped. What are you doing here? She stuttered. He looked up slowly, eyes calm, expression unreadable. Casey, he said, voice smooth, allow me to introduce myself properly this time. I'm Elias Ward. Her jaw clenched. That name! She knew it. Everybody knew it. Elias Ward, founder of Ward Dynamics, one of the youngest billionaires in the country, a silent investor in more than 120 major companies, including hers. Casey felt her legs weaken. Elias continued, yesterday at the restaurant, you didn't know who I was. Today, you're seeing the result of how deeply your behavior affects your business. Her voice cracked. Did you do this? He shook his head gently. No, you did. I simply stepped back and let the market see who they were working with. Investors don't trust someone who publicly humiliates strangers, especially people they consider partners. Casey's throat tightened. So the investors pulled because of her, because of how she acted, because of the person she became. The room stayed silent except for Casey's trembling breath. Elias walked closer, stopping just a few feet from her. It wasn't the wine, he said softly. It was your lack of respect. Casey's eyes filled with tears she didn't want him to see. I'm sorry, she whispered. I didn't know. I shouldn't have treated you like that. For the first time, Elias gave a small smile. Not mocking, not cruel, just human. I know, he said. And that's why I came here personally. To show you something. He turned the screen behind him on. Her company dashboard appeared, still showing the massive drop. But then, the numbers began rising. Green, green, more green, Casey gasped. Wait, what? Elias stepped aside. I reinstated my investment, he said. But this comes with something more important than money. She looked at him, confused and hopeful. A chance, he continued, to be the leader your company believes you can be. Not the woman who threw wine at a stranger, but the woman who owns her mistakes and grows. Casey's tears finally fell. Why would you help me after what I did? She whispered. Elias chuckled softly. Because everyone deserves a second chance. Even billionaires in white suits. Casey exhaled shakily. For the first time in years, she felt humbled. Grounded. Human. And Elias? He simply adjusted his cufflinks and turned to leave. Before walking out, he said one last thing. Next time you see someone you think is nobody, look again. You might be standing in front of the person who can change your entire life. Casey nodded, and she never forgot that lesson again.